Good morning, my dear students. My name is Neer Prayana. I am currently available at the Hamlet Tuition Center, Brahmatol, Kathmandu. If you want to contact me, it's 9849135739, and I'm also available at Kumudini Kunja Secondary School, Kalimati, Kathmandu. My dear students of grade 9, this is your science class, and from today in your science class, we are going to start our new lesson. And this is also your last lesson from physics part, and the name of lesson is electricity and magnetism. First of all, let us define electricity, or let us introduce to electricity, which you have been studying from since grade 7. Okay, you have been studying about this since grade 7, and you know that every object, every material are made up of particles. Every material are made up of particles, and particles are made up of atom. An atom contains proton and electron. Okay, proton is positively charged and electron is negatively charged particle. I have drawn here single proton plus and single minus because in a general condition, an atom has equal number of proton and electron, so they cancel out each other. That is why generally an atom does not have any charge. Generally an atom does not have any charge. However, by using some chemical reaction or some other processes, okay, by using chemical reaction or by using magnetic influence or by friction, by any means, what you can do is you can induce the transmission or transfer of electron from one object to another object. Okay, if that happens, let's say the electrons are induced to transfer, they are induced to transfer from this object to this object. The electrons are very light particles. Okay, the electrons are very light particles and they can easily move. The electrons can easily move. So by using some method, I already told you, the method could be by using friction or by using magnetic influence or by using chemical reaction. By any means, if you are able to transfer sufficient number of electrons from one object to another object, then what you can see here is imbalance in charges. Okay, imbalance in charges. This object has less number of electrons than protons. This object has excessive number of protons compared to electrons. Okay, so this one becomes, in overall, this one becomes positively charged. Okay, I would say terminal. This one would become positively charged, whereas this object, the second object which received electrons from the first object, it has excessive number of electrons than protons. Okay, simply if you count the number of proton and electron plus and minus, you will find that it has excessive number of electrons than protons. So in overall this object will develop negative charge, so it will be negatively charged terminal. Understood? So this simple accumulation of charges is called static electricity. Okay, that also you have studied in grade 8. Yes, static electricity. Okay, this simple accumulation of charges is called static electricity, and it is valid for both positive and negative. Okay, here positive charges are accumulated, static electricity. Negative charges are accumulated, static electricity. It is same. Okay, now if you connect these two, bodies by using a conductor material, okay, if you connect these two bodies by using conductor material, so conductor is such material through which electrons can move. Conductor is such a material through which electrons can move. Okay, so previously by using friction or by using chemical reaction or by using magnetic influence, you transferred or you make electrons to move from this object to this object, isn't it? You made it to move from here to here. Now that influence is removed, okay, that influence is removed, and they are simply connected by using this conductor material, then these electrons, they don't want to stay here. They don't want to stay here. Why? Because they are more in number than proton. There are more electrons than protons, so they simply cannot stay here. So these electrons, they will move back through the conductor. Through the conductor, they will move back to their previous position, previous element, like this. Okay, so all of the electrons, they will move through the conductor to previous element. See, like this. Okay, and this electron also like this, it will keep on moving through the conductor, and it will go to those places where there are less electrons. It will move to those places where they can adjust, like this, through the conductor and here. Okay, so all of the electrons, they actually move through the conductor, and from negatively charged terminal to positively charged terminal. Okay, like this. Yes, any confusion? Okay, let me finish it. Okay, so when electrons are moving through the conductor, okay, let's say these electrons are continuously moving through the conductor, aren't they? Okay, so let me show you the state when the electrons are moving. So this state in which the electrons are moving through conductor, this is called current electricity. Okay, the state in which electrons are moving through the conductor, it is called current electricity. Any confusion? See, any confusion here? Okay, so when electrons or when charges are accumulated in certain part of body, then it is known as static electricity. And when the electrons or the charges are flowing, especially the electrons are flowing through a conductor material, then it is current electricity. And current electricity is generally referred, in general language, it is generally referred as electricity. Okay, electricity simply means current electricity. Okay, actually electricity include both current electricity and static electricity, but in our general language, day-to-day life, by electricity we mean current electricity. Okay, any confusion? Okay, so you can safely define electricity as the flow of electrons through a conductor. Okay, let's go to next part, electric circuit. Okay, as I have already told you, electricity is actually flow of electrons, isn't it? Flow of electrons. So the path through which electrons flow, the path through which electricity flow, that path is called electric circuit. Okay, the path of electron is called electric circuit. And for a electric circuit to be complete, there must be a source of electrons, or you can say reservoir of electrons. Reservoir means accumulation, isn't it? Reservoir means accumulation. Okay, there must be reservoir of electrons, and then conductor. If you connect these two objects by using non-conductor, or you can say conducting material, if you connect these two objects by using non-conducting material, then electricity will not flow. Okay, and this object which will act as the dump of electrons, they will receive electrons, isn't it? Okay, dump of electrons. Well, any confusion up here? See, for electric circuit to be completed, you need 3 units. You need 3 units. These are reservoir of electron, conducting material, and dump of electron. Now, in a general circuit, the battery acts as both reservoir and dump. See, the negative terminal of battery is reservoir of electron, and positive terminal of battery is dump of electron, and these two terminals are connected by using a conducting material, that is conducting wire. Okay, electric wire. Okay, so in this circuit, in the path, if you directly connect plus and minus terminal, then the electrons which flow from minus terminal, they have very high energy. Yes, so that high energy electrons, when reach the plus terminal, it might cause spark. Okay, it will cause spark. Won't say it might cause, but it will cause spark. At what? Not at minus terminal, but at plus terminal. It will cause spark at plus terminal because of that high energy electrons. Okay, they have high energy, means that energy needs to be converted into some other forms of energy. You know that. You know the conservation of energy, isn't it? Okay. So to prevent such firing incidents, to prevent production of such spark, what we do, in the path of electrons, we keep a device through which electrons would flow and will be converted into some other form of energy. Okay, electrons will flow through the devices, and then the energy content in electrons, that means electrical energy, will be converted into other forms of energy. Understood? So such device is called load. Such devices are called load. If you use a bulb here, then electrical energy will be converted to light. If you use a speaker, then it will be converted to sound. If you use heater, then electrical energy will be converted to heat energy. Likewise, you can place any load in the path of electricity. Okay, and switch is placed in a circuit. Switch is placed in a circuit just to control the flow of current. Okay, if you turn the switch on, then it will complete the electric circuit and the load will operate. If you turn the switch off, then the circuit will be broken. Within the switch, the circuit will be broken. If the circuit is broken, then electricity cannot flow anymore. Okay, and that way the load will be turned off. Load will stop working. Okay, so this much forms a complete circuit. Here the battery or source of electricity, and source of electricity usually have both reservoir and dump of electrons, reservoir and dump of electrons. And then another essential thing is the conducting material, okay, and then load and switch. Okay, battery, conducting material, load and switch. Okay, so by using by using the symbols, this circuit can also be represented like this by using symbols. See, this is the symbol of load. Okay, symbol of load. This is the symbol of switch. This is the symbol of battery, in which plus indicates dump, minus indicates reservoir. You can simply say plus terminal and minus terminal. And the wires are usually indicated by straight line. And the arrow indicates flow of current. Any confusion? Okay, this much is about electric circuit. Okay, see, you can see the note. Electric circuit is the path through which the electricity flows. It consists of source of electricity, a conductor, load which performs by passing electricity, and or a switch. Well, switch is not compulsory, that's why and or. Okay, you can put switch or you do not put switch, that's up to you. It's not compulsory to complete a circuit. Okay, any confusion up here? Well, if you do not have any confusion, then let's go to next part, electric charge. Okay, electric charge is actually the electrical property. Okay, electrical property possessed by an electron or proton. Electron and proton, they are the most fundamental particles found in universe, which act as opposite. Okay, which act as opposite. That means when electron and protons come closer, then they attract each other. But if electron and electron come closer, they repel each other. If proton and proton come closer, once again they repel each other. Okay, so that specific property of electron and proton is called charge. Got it? Now, electric charge, basically electric charge is quantity, physical quantity. If we say just charge, then that is property, electrical property. But electric charge means physical quantity, which is represented by Q. Now, electric charge is defined as amount of charge contained in an electron or a proton is called electric charge. SI unit of electric charge is coulomb. Okay, SI unit of electric charge is coulomb. Now, you should know that a single electron or single proton is actually very small particle, isn't it? That cannot be seen by our eyes, cannot be seen under microscope, cannot even be seen under electron microscope even. Okay, in that also you cannot see proton or electron. They are extremely small particles, and that is why charge content in one electron or one proton is also extremely small. And know that charge content in proton and electron are equal in quantity but opposite in sign, because they behave in opposite manner. Okay, they behave in opposite manner. Now the charge possessed by them is, let's say of electron, it is minus, okay, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 means 0. You need to add 18 zeros, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 14 15 16 17 18 1 6. Okay, this much. One electron contains this much, only this much amount of charge. Okay, and one proton contains only this much of amount of charge. Only, I am saying only, definitely it is only, isn't it? it is very small amount of charge. Okay, okay, single proton or single electron contains extremely small amount of charge. Okay, that is why now if we need to find out how many electrons or how many protons actually possess 1 coulomb charge, we can calculate that by simply reversing the number. That means 1 divided by minus 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. How do you get it? Okay, let me show you the step of unitary method. We know that okay, in case of proton, let's say proton 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb charge. Yes. Okay, let me put it in superscript, is equals to 1 proton, okay, or electron. Okay, see, this is what this is actually the known information, the information known to you. Yes, now if you are to use unitary method, then if you divide, let me copy this same step here in next step also, Control C, okay, if you divide the left side by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, then you can divide the right side as well by the same number, isn't it? So let me divide it. Let me see, Control C. Actually division cannot be typed directly, that is why I need to do like this. Okay, so this way I do make a fraction, Control X, and then insert here. So do you understand what I am doing? What am I doing? Do you understand? To use unitary method, what am I doing? I have to divide both sides. I have to divide both sides by 1.69. Okay, let me Control X. See, do you understand what I am doing? I divided both the side by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 on both sides, dividing both sides by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Now you can simply cancel this term and this term. Yes, numerator and denominator on the same side, so it overall gives 1 coulomb charge is equals to 1 by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. And why is this minus coming? Because I took the charge of electron. Okay, simply I'll take positive sign. Okay, so by dividing this number, it gives us 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons or protons. So the calculation by using unitary method shows that 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons or that much of protons contains 1 coulomb charge. Okay, so it can be concluded that therefore 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons, this must be in superscript, electrons have 1 coulomb charge. Okay, or minus 1 coulomb charge. Okay, electron means negative, isn't it? Okay, 6.25 into 10 to the power 10 to the power 18 electrons have minus 1 coulomb charge. Similarly, the same number of protons. Okay, I'll simply copy it. Say I am this much lazy. Okay, 6.25 into 10 to the power 20, 10 to the power 18 protons, okay, have plus 1 coulomb charge. So this is the conclusion. Okay, you will be asked the question frequently. Yes, how many electrons have 1 coulomb charge? Okay, the possible question from this section is how many electrons do electrons have 1 coulomb charge? This is the question. Or you can also ask the same, you might also be asked the same questions with protons. Whatever is it, whether you have to find out the number of electrons or number of protons, doesn't matter. The procedure is same. The procedure is same. Okay, and you have to show this calculation as well. Okay, you have to show the calculation as well. Any confusion up here? Okay, if there are no confusion, then let me stop right here. Okay, we will continue our class in our next class. Okay, what we have studied today, please keep it in mind. Okay, because whatever you will study in this lesson in grade 9 will not be repeated in grade 10, but all this information are in crucial, not only in grade 10 but grade 11 and 12 as well, because what we are studying in this grade actually forms a foundation for electrical engineering or electrical sciences. Okay, so I don't like to just patch up more than you should have or you can have, because these are all new concepts. Okay, so I'd like to stop here, and I'd also like you to go over through whatever you have studied today, not just once but 2 or 3 times. How many times you need to just go over again and again until you become completely confident. Okay, so what we studied today, we introduced electricity, what is electricity, and we basically studied the relationship between static electricity and current electricity. Okay, static electricity and current electricity are not two different phenomena. They are simply like two different faces of a same coin. Okay, they are two different fractions of electricity. Okay, at one state it could be static electricity, and at another state it could be current electricity. And know that without static electricity being formed, there would be no current electricity. Okay, so for current electricity to be formed, there must form static electricity, at least momentarily. Yes, and then we discussed about electric circuit, and we already know that what electric circuit must contain. Okay, an electric circuit must contain source of electron, conducting material, load, switch, and dump of electron. Okay, and source of electron and dump of electron, they are usually found in a battery. A battery acts as both source and dump. Okay, and you should know how to draw the symbols, how to draw the electric circuit by using symbols, because in your advanced career, will you be able to draw everything like this real life like situation, or will you be able to draw everything like a real life object? It will take too much time, plus everyone might not be a good artist. Okay, that is why in every scientific purpose, in every engineering field, all the circuits they are represented by using symbols. Symbols anyone can draw them, okay, and anyone can understand them if studied properly, okay. And then after we studied about electric charge. Yes, what is electric charge? How much electric charge does one electron or one proton contain, okay. And then we calculated how many electrons or how many protons have 1 coulomb charge, okay. Okay, this much for today. We will see you in our next class. Thank you, class.